Hello and welcome to Painless Universal, a conversation with myself and Welsh. Today I'll be talking to Cher about her platform called Talk to Coco. I love the name. It rhymes, it sounds exciting. Why did she start this platform? This platform was exactly started to address the mental health issues that so many people go on and dealing with on a daily basis. She will also be addressing the issues of why she started this platform, Talk to Coco, what are some of the challenges she's faced, and how she's overcome these pain. Meet Cher. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Painless Universal Conversation with myself and Welsh. I've got the amazing Cher here. Cher, thank you so much for joining me. I've done a brief intro at the beginning to talk about you, and just to tell people a little bit about what I know about you. But before I start, where are you joining me from? Are
So
you?
I'm joining you from Cardiff.
Oh, lovely, nice. I've been to Cardiff. My son plays ice hockey, so he.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, the ice hockey rink is literally there. I can see it from my window.
Yeah, I've been there. So it's lovely. I love the air. It's so beautiful and fresh. I, I brought you on today because I really loved your story. I loved everything about your passion and your willingness to give back and share your story so freely with so many others. So many people are in a crucial state mentally and emotionally about being who they truly are, and you've done that openly. But before we
Yeah.
do that, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Cardiff. Basically, I guess I started Talk to Coco, that kind of platform for myself originally. Being a mixed race person in this world, being a black person in this world, we have these things at us anyway. As infants, we're born into this world with sort of daggers around us.
Mm.
Being gay, also suffering with mental health. It was like I had all these, I don't know, how could I call it? Like all these little daggers, yeah, at me. And I just felt like this small little minority, I guess, in this huge world. And I guess there was a lot of things I would suffer internally myself and not truly be honest, I guess, with myself and people around me about how I was feeling, about who I was as a person and how I dealt with things and why I dealt with the reasons and things I went through. And I guess I got diagnosed with a brain tumor too, 2 years ago. So when that happened in hospital, I guess that was for me, that was like the stepping stone. Okay, this was really scary. I didn't expect this. I'm freaking out in a way I don't know how to express it. And I went to Instagram to express it. I went live. I put it out there of what I was feeling, everything that was happening. And the turnaround I had off people saying, oh my God, like you're so brave. Thank you. And then from that, I guess I started speaking openly on my mental health, on times that I was suicidal and how I could overcome that, and seeing a psychiatrist on diagnosis and loads of little spectacles and I guess little tree branches from the tree kind of thing on how and why I got to the place I did. And from that, I guess so many people around the world, whether it be men, women, adults, young, old, was coming to me saying like, you're inspirational, like you're making me feel like I can be myself, or there's people in the world like us. And it was crazy. It wasn't what I expected at all.
No, absolutely, because I deal with a chronic illness, and also when I started talking to people about it, then people started appreciating it because they thought it wasn't something. Because if you talked about it, then you limit your chances of getting a job, you limit your chances of,
Definitely.
just various things. And so people always that bubble, they would tend to hide it. But when they saw me talking freely, because I said sometimes being open actually gives you more hope, because then you could have talked to your boys about it. And now I see you being a mixed race, being gay, being having your own mental struggle. You've just been open. How has that helped other people to deal with their own mental struggles?
So what I found on how it's helped other people, they found that from just being honest, and a lot of people say that seeing myself is like a person there. So not like a modern day savior kind of thing, as if they can just see someone in the flesh, a human being, just saying, yeah, I've got this issue and I'm fine. Like it's okay. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing that people find hardest, acceptance of themselves, to think, because especially in this world, the stigmas around mental health, you're crazy, is this, is that. So I think for people to see, oh, actually, you look normal to us. However, you're dealing with all of these things. And they said for them to, like, I have people come to me and say, like, you've saved my life. I was going to kill myself the other day. Or people come to me with advice. So they might say, I'm going through this. I've seen you've gone through this too. How can I get out of it? Or do you have any advice? Or can you mentor me on to get back to that road of acceptance? And I think you do. It all starts with self-acceptance. And a lot of people that come to myself say, from seeing myself be so authentic and transparent in who I am, gives them the courage to say to their mum or to their friend, you know what, this is what I've been going through. And then they find their friends or their people around them say, oh, that makes sense. Or it's okay, like I'm here. And then they say, I realized this whole time I had people around me, but sometimes people are just scared to let people in too, and that kind of stuff.
You know, growing up as a child being mixed race, how exciting, tough was that, being a mixed race child?
So especially here, I guess in Wales, it's not very multicultural. I guess the Black people, the mixed race people we see growing up, if they're not on TV, they're within our families or our very close community. And I say the Black community where I'm from, everyone sort of knows each other. We're all sort of marginalized, I guess, in an area, and we're all brought up together. But I guess being mixed race, and I went to Catholic schools too, so I was christened. So it was hard. I think there was about 6 of us in my whole primary school. When I went to high school too, there was about 10 of us. And funny enough, we all collectively had that sisterhood, that bond, and all come together. So God, from the age of 7, 8, I remember there was a group of mixed race girls and a few Black girls. We had the one Asian girl that would be with us, and instantly we would come together like this, because during schools and stuff, there was nothing for us as people. So being a young child, I guess, you knew there was something missing. Why am I not in the book? So why am I not the teacher, the little girl the teacher's talking about, that kind of stuff? So then you formulate, okay, we'll formulate our own little power group as such, and we'll embrace our Black culture. And through primary school, I started dance classes on Fridays and used to do that and get everyone involved. And just to say to my teacher, I need a bit of me here, like, yeah. So it was difficult, don't get me wrong. And even still to this day, like comments down the street, you can see people, they judge. I shop in Marks and Spencer's. People know of people say, oh, Marks and Spencer's a bit bougie. How do you shop there? Why? Because I'm Black? Because that's the only thing you're looking and judging me off. You know, like little things like that. I think is still so down here, especially. It's still that kind of stigma and judgment for a mixed race girl. It's hard. And you're not Black enough down here because my dad's white. Or the other way around then, you're not really white though, are you? Because you've got a Black mum. And it's like, well, if I'm not Black, I'm not white. I'm trying to embrace both, and I'm still getting told it's not right kind of thing, you know, or it's not me.
Wow, so it's very interesting phase of life, and I think it's something that eventually we hope that people start understanding different cultures, the different ethnicity, and how to warm yourself, and how that at the end of the day, when someone has a cut where the same blood comes out of all of us and we're just one, and it's something that I think we just have to keep teaching our family, our kids, and everyone that we surround, for them to just better understand. What about the pain of being mixed race and gay? How did you combine that issue of doing that? Because I mean, that's
I guess it's tough. I guess in a way I'm still sort of on that journey, if you like to say. I think being an adult now and going to certain places in the world and understanding emotion and understanding judgment and what people's thoughts are really of you, I think it hurts more now than when I did when I first come out. I come out at 14, so I was young. However, then I think I was so on the road of trying to embrace I'm just gay and all this kind of new stuff to me, that seeing how the world sees me and how I'll be judged, I didn't really understand then. However, now being judged, you get judged by the Black community for being gay. Yeah. And then on the other side, you get judged by the whole world for being Black and gay. Yeah. So it's like I'm trying to juggle, I guess, on, no, I mean, like I'm right and I'm still 100% Black, I'm still 100% human, I'm still 100% gay. However, it's that road to, I guess, brushing off those stigmas to be like, you're not Black enough because you're gay, or you're not judged the same as somebody that's straight and Black. Like, to me, is like you said, we all cut, we all bleed the same person. And I'm sure if somebody's family was ill and they needed a transplant, I'm sure they wouldn't think twice of taking off a gay Black person then. No. You know, it comes down to things like that. And I think, like you said, educating yourself. And I think as I've got older and being so transparent with my mental health, with race, with my sexuality, with who I am as a person, I've realized, I guess, we're going to get judged every day. It's just all from self-acceptance and accepting you and being able to handle those judgments, I guess, and breaking those stigmas to show, no, this isn't who I am because you say or the world says I am. This is who the path I'm choosing. And a lot of people can follow that. And I think with Talk to Coco and how I started that, a lot of people do follow that journey, and it's nice to see it growing and growing, and so many people, like, it's like empowering people, I guess, through the internet.
Yeah, no, I think, we need more of that. We need more of people like you who put themselves out and say, you know what, yeah, we're all dealing with different things, but talk to Coco, and this is a platform for us to have this conversation, for you to understand this is what I'm going through, and how do we all deal with this as a collective individual. So, in your advice, what would you give someone struggling at the moment, someone struggling to be who they truly are?
I would say, first of all, it's okay. Like, time, there's no time on it, because I think so much too is pressure. So if somebody, say, is struggling mentally with who they are, whether they're going through stuff, whether that be a family issue that's affecting your mental health, whether that just be stuff you've got going on and you've had your home life, whether you're just going through a breakup, there's so much happening right now in this world, especially with lockdown. I'd say, first of all, just be patient with yourself. It's okay, and things are temporary. So if today we wake up and we're fine, and then an hour later we're breaking down in tears, don't punish ourselves, because I find that's such a road, is so easy to fall down. So myself, I do it sometimes. I can wake up one day and be in the great mood. The littlest thing can switch me, and I'm breaking down and I don't know why. And I need to process those emotions. So I say, I guess the advice I'd have for anybody that is struggling right now is, it's okay, and talk to somebody, or even pen and paper. If you haven't got the strength right now to speak to somebody, whether it's myself through Instagram as a stranger, or whether it's your doctor, or otherwise, what I always tell all the people that come to me, in which I coach and mentor, a piece of pen and paper. That's all we need, is ourselves in a room, and write down your feelings. Even if it sounds like it doesn't make sense and you sound like you're rambling, you find, put that down, and you can read it and think, oh, actually, I feel better now. I don't feel like that anymore. Or you can scrumple up, put in a bin, and it's like a way of releasing that. Or however, it's fine. It's temporary. Nothing lasts forever, right? So whether tomorrow is a bad day too, we're going to get through it. It's hard. It is extremely hard, especially now with lockdown. England's gone back down. Thank God, here in Wales, we're out of this Monday. But for you guys, obviously up those neck of the woods, I'd say, yeah, and just keep in contact with people. Like, even if it is a little text, or grab a colouring book, I don't know, play with your pet, just keep busy, blast your music. If it annoys your neighbours for a few hours, I'm sure they can live with it under these circumstances. But yeah, just be in tune with yourself, I think, is so important. We all neglect ourselves as humans when we feel that way, because it's easier to try not to feel that. But I think it's the worst thing you can do, by trying to ignore those feelings, 100%.
That is so true. I love those advice, because that really hits it. I mean, so many of us ignore these very, 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 very little things that could make you change your mood and make you so happy. When you came out, because this is a critical one, when you came out to your family, was it difficult? And what best way do you advise someone watching this to come out?
Okay, so myself, I would say I am really one of the lucky ones. So I didn't really come out per se, let's say that. So for myself, with my family, I didn't really tell them. So I had a girlfriend at the time that was my best friend. So we do everything together, that kind of thing. However, one day my mum texted her and said this little message. So it was like, we sort of know you're not friends. And I died. My heart sunk so deep. I thought, I can't go home. What's my mum going to say? And I was having all these thoughts in my head, and they were all negative, as we do, instantly irrational thoughts. And I walked in my door, I'll never forget, like, I remember walking in my door, my mum said, did you get my text? And I'm thinking, no, I haven't got nothing. And she's like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And I run upstairs, and I thought, oh, she's going to hate me. She's going to think this, she's going to think that. And she come on my door and knocked. She was like, Sherelle, like, we know you're gay. And I was like, I'm not gay. No. And she was like, we know you are, it's fine. Like, she's like, first of all, this is the hardest part. I want you to know we all love you no matter what you are. And I think a lot of people this day and age doesn't have that as easy. I was easy. However, I guess my difficult part was schooling. So once everyone found out in high school, it was like 14 back in, God, the 90s, early 2000s. That wasn't like everywhere was doing it. So I had teachers making comments. I had like friends making comments, and it was hard. It was tough. And I guess being always like the out there person, the popular girl, that kind of stuff, I had never really had, I guess, people turn their backs on me in that kind of respect. So I think it hit home, and it took me to a place where I'd never been before as a person, and it made me feel emotions, I guess, that I had never really felt, of feeling judged, of feeling pushed aside, of feeling not wanted to be included just for my sexuality. And I guess I didn't really understand why there was such a big judgment on who I fancied. Like, why did that bother so many people? I didn't understand. And I think from that, it made myself educate myself and look into the reasons on how I can help people, how I can come into this community and embrace who I am. And I think for anybody with coming out and that kind of thing is super hard. I've had people come to myself that are Muslims too, which is a really hard subject, which are gay. And it's finding that balance of being able to just break through those doors and be like, this is me, I'm free. Like, but I guess everyone's story is different. And advice on that thing I find so hard to give, because I wouldn't like to give advice to somebody that, say, could be in a Muslim family and we all know that they do honor killings. That I've spoken to people and say, that's fine, go and be this person. And then I find out on the news this poor person could be, you know what I mean? So I think that's really hard subject on advice you give. I can only give off my experience and what I'd hope people would like do back, I guess, and treat them. But yeah, it's a really, really hard situation. And for myself, my family was great, whereas I found the public was worse for myself. Whereas I got friends, which it was the other way around, and their families didn't accept it, they didn't understand, or they would tell them it's a phase going through. Sexuality isn't a phase, guys. For anyone watching this, like, I assure you, if your son or daughter says they're gay, they're gay. It's not nothing they're going through. They're not going to 5 years later change and be like, oh no, mum, actually, because you want them to. I've had friends myself tell me there's camps for me in America. I no longer speak to these people anymore. However, there is people that has that mindset, and that's where it comes down to mindset again, just tuning yourself to know which energy to channel and which isn't worth it. And I think as we grow up, that's what we find. But this day and age, people are younger and people are more open, so I guess it becomes trickier because the mindset's younger and the brain isn't developed like we are now compared to when we're children, you know.
That is very interesting. But also one thing you did say is about the outer world, and especially if you're in school, how, because I always imagine this, and I'm just putting this into perspective, you correct me here. Do you feel girls are mean because they're scared of you coming around them, or they're scared of hanging out? I'm just trying to figure this out. What scares women, girls, teenagers, women?
So what I used to have was, do you fancy me then? Have you looked at me? Like, do you know, like in changing rooms, everyone gets changed. And I'd be like, we still have preference. Like, you're not my type. No, like, just because I've seen your bra and knickers, it doesn't mean like, ooh, I fancy you. Not at all. I think for women, I think because we're sexualized so much, I guess, by society.
Yes.
Always for the discretion of men. So we're seen as, I guess, this little object, this bare meat kind of thing for all these guys to savage off. And that's what society tells us is right.
Yeah.
So growing up, women feel we owe men, do you know what I mean, kind of thing, all this kind of thing. So I think instantly women, when they see a gay person, i.e. a lesbian woman, it's either, I guess, from experience that they're intrigued. It could be something they feel but they don't know how to channel it. It could be something they agree on because of their family. A lot of things do come down to religion, what I found out of my own friends. A lot of people say they don't agree with the lifestyle but don't say why. I guess for me as a woman, if I was looking in and I was straight, I guess, and I had a lesbian friend or just a person I knew, I think maybe what people find so difficult is that they don't feel like that themselves. So it's instantly they don't understand. So once again, it's the fear of the ununderstanding. Oh, well, how come? Or is it because society's told me I've been this way? So their brain is so tuned as well that it should be one way. And because it's not educated to enough, I don't think, in schools and all this kind of thing we're trying to get out there now. So to a lot of people, it's not normal. So like to myself, until I started exploring, I guess, that kind of neck of the woods, to me, it wasn't normal. My mum and dad have never told me about gay people. My mum and dad have never said, oh, two women, never. Do you know what I'm saying? Either coming from a multi-background like family, which have their own sort of negative comment, you would think they could explain other avenues. Never. So I guess when this happened, I did. All my friends, that was the first thing all the girls used to say to me, oh, do you fancy me then? Are you looking at me? No, we have preference still, guys. Just because we're lesbians, we're very specific. Like, yeah, we do. Yeah, it's hard, I guess. It is hard. And when you get judged by women as a lesbian, I think it's one of those things you think, if anything, you guys should be understanding us. We're all girls, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's a very interesting one. I mean, I've always thought about it. I always thought, how do you see it, and how do the other girls see you as well? Because, you know, I know there's always a misconception about the way things should and shouldn't be. But I'm so glad you addressed that critical issue. And our final question is just about mental health challenges in the world,
Yeah.
the global pandemic, everything going on, people losing jobs. What
Mhm.
are the critical things you always tell people to help deal with mental health, help your mental health stay sane?
Yeah, so with your mental health and your mental health status, I guess, with so many people at the moment in this world, like you said, people are losing jobs, people are in domestic violence. Like this pressure right now in this world is impacting here incredibly. The suicide rate has gone up 3 times weekly. Like it's ridiculous. The amount of people. So I put a video out the other day on my Instagram. The amount of people I've had contact me shouldn't be that case. Either on a good day, like it's impacting people too much. So what I always tell people, especially now, like keep active. Like I'm not someone that enjoys exercise. I'm not someone that can exercise because of my physical illness. However, if I've got to go out for a walk at 9 o'clock at night, if that's what I need to do for up here, I'm going to do it. So guys, like do whatever you feel you need to do. And I guess I was watching a video the other day with a psychologist. She was having a news interview. I'm not sure if you've seen it yourself. And she turned around and said, like, because the reporter said, are you telling people to break the law? So if you need to stop the bubble, if you need to break that kind of support bubble and those things. And she turned around and said, yes. And if that means I lose my job by saying this, yes, because saving lives by our ethics is first, which is true. So if you need to ring your friend or you need to go and pop and see your friend right now because your mental state is like this on the edge, I please say go and do it. Because there's been so many times I know that I've been on the edge. And all I needed is that one person to understand me. And whether you've got to see that person for 10 minutes, see him for 5 minutes, go for a walk, have a phone call, please speak to someone. I say right now is crucial. Like I've never seen, even myself, like so many people be affected right now. And most importantly too, other than speak up, other than get out there, get fresh air into that brain, because being stuck in this house is making us go crazy. I know myself, I feel like that sometimes. I feel like I'm going to be like the Hulk. All of a sudden I go from 5 foot into this big green monster because my mental capacity can't cope. So yeah, I think the most thing is, and don't be scared to get help. Like if for some people they'll go to a doctor, some people the thought of a doctor, anything clinical pushes them away and they reject it. That's fine. Guys, come to myself. I have made myself available 24/7. People can come into WhatsApp groups. I do one-to-one coaching. WhatsApp, I do one-to-one coaching. Zoom, I do one-to-one call, like over phone. So whatever way, if it's that or if it's a friend. But yeah, speak up, because keeping that in here right now is not good. It is not good for the mind. And in order to keep us all going. And if you've lost your job too, guys, like it's okay. That's one thing a lot of people are struggling with too. Like if you have lost your job, as much as how the government's making us feel right now, it's okay. There will be other jobs. And if not, we can all create something together. Like we're all humans. And I hope this brings us all together to, do you know what I mean? Create something for us all, for the people that have come to a loss. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people right now that are really suffering.
Yeah, that's true. No, Cher, this is amazing. I think you really hit the nails on the head of critical issues that is affecting the world in general and how to really tackle it. Do you have a message of hope for the future?
My message of hope, I guess, for people is to be selfish for yourself. And people always say that that's such a controversial message to people. But why I say that? Because if we're not thinking about number one, how are we going to put hope in the world for our future generation? Number one needs to be important. So like for yourself, so your children can sprout and become amazing, for the family around you, for your friends, for your business. So always be selfish. And then from that, we will create whatever we want. I believe that, because once I took that for myself and started thinking of number one, my hope have grown. And I've got avenues I never thought little me would ever get. So yeah, that's 100%. Be selfish for yourself. And this world will turn around. I believe that 100 million%.
Wow.
Things will be.
Well, I could talk to you forever, literally. I could,
And me,
I could sit down and listen to you. I don't have a time frame for the interviews, but I love your conversation because you really were real, and I really thank you for taking your time out to talk.
Thank you. No, thank you for wanting to talk to me too. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it, because I think this will help so many people, and I look forward to doing more parts with you. Because
yeah, definitely.
Break conversation into different little nits and pieces as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for having me, and take care and look after yourself and your family too. You're right.
Okay.